Welcome to the unfiltered corner. Pull up a chair, leave the mask at the door. We talk about the things they hide. Real talk, real life, nothing brushed aside. It's the unforgettable, yeah. Remember the name, oh yeah. We talk about topics, we say what we mean. No games, we keep it real and raw. Let the truth come through. Judgment free zone, judgment free zone. This space is for you. Come get comfortable, relax, get loose. Kick off your day, shake off that bruise. Welcome to the unfiltered corner. It's true, the unforgettables here. And we're riding with you. And we're riding with you.
Yo, what's up, my unfiltered crew? This is your host, the Unforgettable. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner, you guys. Hello, how are you? Hi. You guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to talk about The Crash, the documentary. I saw it this morning, you guys. With Mackenzie Shirilla. We're going to wait for people to come in so we can start talking about this because very interesting, crazy, sad. Overall, in general, crazy. You guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to talk about the Mackenzie Shirilla case today. The only reason I'm going live about this case today is because I saw the documentary this morning, you guys. And it was very heartbreaking. I'm not going to lie. My husband sleeping next to me, Mr. Unforgettable, was sleeping and I'm crying right next to him from the beginning. I'm a very emotional person, so it was a very emotional thing to watch. I mean, I've heard of it here and there. I watched, the trial before. I watched, some Facebook stuff on it. A little bit here and there because you see it all over social media. People still talk about it. But it was a very sad situation, like to see it up front and close there, like step by step, like hearing the parents talk about it. Hi, Kenzo. Hi, everybody. Hi, Ali. To watch it up front like that, like from the perspective of Davion's family and Dom's family, that was heartbreaking, you guys. I was listening to a little bit of everything that the friends had to say. Even Mackenzie's parents, I listened to what they had to say. So yeah, we're going to get into this, you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to talk about this a little bit. There's lots of podcasts. There's lots of channels. Everybody's talking about this case because, as we all know, this documentary was released on Netflix on May 15th. And many people have opinions. Many people think, certain things. Some say guilty. Some say not guilty. But we're going to get into this because it was sad. Hi, Alina, Indiana, and Kayana. How you guys? Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. We're going to talk about this. The Mackenzie Shirilla case was talked about on a lot of true crimes channels because it was some people thought, I have no plan but God's plan. Absolutely, Marks. Let me tell you, some people thought it was an accident, right? That there was no intent. And some people, so there's like a lot of controversy. A lot of people think it was an accident. A lot of people thought that it was intentional, right? Everybody has their own opinion to this case. So please, let's be respectful to anybody that chats in the chat of how they feel. Everybody's entitled to their opinion when we're talking about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. So this is a safe space here. Everybody's entitled to it. We could speak up on it as long as we don't disrespect each other. Let's try to keep support with stream. Have a good morning, Mox. And let me tell you, let's just respect each other here. That's all this channel is about. Let's respect each other. And we can debate and we could talk about it. And we can have conversation about it without disrespecting each other, right? So Mackenzie Shirilla, if you guys don't know, she's from Strongsville, Ohio. And she had a boyfriend named Dominic Russo, and his best friend. So it was a whole group of friends, right? And his best friend Davion Flanagan. And they all hung out together. It was a whole group of kids that hung out together. And tragically, both Davion and Dom passed away in a vehicle accident that Mackenzie was driving, right? That's why there's so much controversy. Some people were like, oh, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. No, well, after watching the documentary myself this morning, prosecution did a wonderful job in proving that this was intentional. That's my opinion. Nobody has to agree. I believe it was intentional. It was a very horrific accident. I saw that, the pictures of the scene, you guys, like, that's horrific. This cop shows up to this spot and he sees this car like mangled, you guys, like every airbag deployed, like even the seats, everything, like it was destroyed. And if you guys notice, the side that Dominic was sitting on was destroyed the most, which is sad, you guys. I can't even fathom or even think about. Shout out, Can We Keep It Real? Thank you for being here with me. Listen, I can't even put myself in the shoes of these officers and these firefighters that had to witness this themselves. And, as a parent, right? I'm sure a lot of these officers and these firefighters and all these professionals that were on that scene, right? Everybody say shout out to Mikey. That's Mikey from Can We Keep It Real in the chat. Much love to Mikey. He has a podcast. It's called Can We Keep It Real Podcast. Guys, go subscribe, go like. He's talking about the Eddie O'Brien case. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe and go listen in on him and turn on your notifications so you guys know when he's on, so you can listen in onto the Eddie O'Brien case. But I can't even imagine myself like being in this situation, like showing up to this accident as a first responder, a firefighter, an EMT, an officer. I can't even imagine to like be there and see this horrific accident and to see the condition that this vehicle was in, and to see the conditions that these kids, because even Mackenzie was a kid back then, right? In the condition that they were all in, right? I can't even imagine. And to see that two of them were deceased, which was Davion and Dominic, were both deceased in this vehicle. It's just tragic, you guys. That was heartbreaking for me. I have children, and I can't even imagine what these first responders had to deal with. Also, probably having children themselves, right? That's hard. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. It must have been hard on them. It was hard on me. I was just watching the documentary this morning, and I have children, and that was hard on me. Like, I was like, this is insanity. Like, that shit broke my heart. But anyways, so this all happened in July 31st of 2022, you guys, meaning the autopsy was the worst. That's even sad. I don't even want to look at that. That's crazy to me. Like, it all happened in 2022. We all heard about the case. We were all watching, the trials. We were all listening in on podcasts on this case, watching it here and there on Twitter, on, Facebook. Everybody was talking about it. But the documentary was like a front row seat to like everything that went down and how everybody felt and, sides of everybody's story. You get what I'm saying, you guys? And the prosecution and everything. So this happened in 2022. And she was there. I guess they were hanging out at their friend's house, right? Mind you, we're going to give you a little bit of backstory of Mackenzie. And from what I've read, from what I've seen, from what I saw in the documentary, like, I guess, not for nothing. And this is my opinion, you guys. So I'm just letting you guys know up front. This is my opinion. It doesn't have to be everybody's opinion. To me, Mackenzie was an entitled young lady. She was entitled. She was enabled. it looks like she was enabled all her life. Her mother was an enabler and her father just followed it on. That was just my take on, the situation. She got what she wanted all her life. You can tell clearly. I don't think that never in history did they ever tell her no. Like this girl had to have it her way or the highway type of deal. That's how she comes off to me as. And maybe other people's might see it as different, but that's the way I saw it as. Okay. And this is my opinion again, from my perspective. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree because the mother was behaving the same way, right? When it comes to that, like her behavior, like she was dominant in the relationship. And it seemed to me that Mackenzie was the same way with Dom. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to be dominant, like holding the pants in the relationship. That's what the mother rubbed off on me. So, I mean, kids learn what you teach them, and she's going around being entitled and a brat and everything like that. And to see that there was a lot of people, claiming that, she bullied them. She made fun of them. She was mean to them. She was not nice to them. Like she was not well liked while going through school. I mean, some kids liked her, but there's a lot of kids that didn't like her because of her behavior. And she thought that she was like better than everybody. You know what I'm saying? And one big red flag that I seen is, as a parent, me, right? I have a 16-year-old. I have a 14-year-old, right? My sons are older. They're 18 and 21, right? And then I have my son's girlfriend. She's 17, but she's with my son. As a parent of two young girls, right? I wouldn't feel comfortable with my daughters to be dating an older boy. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable. That was the first red flag for me there. I get it. Teenagers fall in love. It's hard. They get, oppositional. I get it. They get rebellious. They want to do what they want to do. But I mean, we as parents need to keep control when it comes to our children and the decisions they're making, especially when they're underage. Like I oppose to that completely. Like, first of all, that's a red flag to me. I would never let my kid that's a freshman in high school to be dating a grown ass boy. Grown. It bothered me when I was listening to that. But anyways, clearly she was never told no. This is my opinion. Yep. And she moved in with him too. Absolutely. Hi, Natalie D. How are you, baby girl? Yeah, she moved in with him. That's another thing. Another red flag. Parents let this little girl move in with her grown ass boyfriend. And listen, I, as a parent, again, I'm going to tell you, I know what goes on in my children's relationships, okay? Not because I'm a meddling mother-in-law or whatever. That's not what it is. It's because I like to be aware of my surroundings and whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it pertains to my kids. Y'all can't sit here and tell me that Mackenzie's parents didn't see this toxicity in the relationship. I mean, there was toxicity there. You know what I'm saying? And if I felt like the boy always, like he was probably trying to leave, and she was one of those girls that kind of like either threatened her life or threatened him because she wanted to stay with him, and if she felt like it was obligated to stay together, and she was probably mistreating him a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that he was a saint, because listen, us as parents, we always say, right? I know my child will never do that. There's lots of parents out here that be saying some shit like that. But you know what? We don't know our children when they're outside of our sight. Children do other things when they're not within our sight. You know what I'm saying? So God knows what was happening amongst them too. But I'm sure there was signs there, you guys. You know what I'm saying? This girl was getting high on shrooms all the time as a young kid. That's another thing. Like, as a parent, I would never feel comfortable with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. These kids are picking up, they're going to do it. They're drug of their choice, and they're going to do it regardless. They're going to do it behind our backs. But like, that shit was crazy to me. Like, I saw in the documentary that dad is like, well, I knew she was doing dope. But like, I mean, dope is nothing. It's weed. I'd rather her do that than, put basically a syringe in her arm and shoot up, heroin or something. Like, sir, are you serious right now? I'd rather my children don't do shit. That's my opinion. I'd rather my kids don't do shit. absolutely is there justice. I believe it. Listen, is there justice says her parents never taught her to have respect for anybody. It's true. Because she don't even have respect for her mother. Her mother sounds scared of her. I was listening to some jailhouse phone call. She sounds scared as fuck of her. Like it's whatever Mackenzie says is what it goes. It's basically she's telling her mom to shut the fuck up and listen to what she gotta say. Her mom's like, listen, I'm outside of a meeting. I gotta go back into work. And the daughter's insisting. Like you could tell clearly who runs the show there, which was Mackenzie. So absolutely, she was never taught respect. The girl had no respect for anybody. She was in trouble. You know, she was having some troubles in life. You know what I'm saying? You know, and she was doing shrooms. And for the dad to say, no, I'd rather her smoke weed than this, that, and the third. Listen, I'd rather my child not do shit. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, this father's a fucking enabler. This father, I don't think, guys, and this is my opinion. You guys don't have to agree. I don't think that the parents see anything wrong with what their daughter did and what she did in the past, besides the accident, like besides that tragic, you know, situation. I don't think they see anything wrong in the little girl. Like, I think these parents went through life applauding this little girl and saying yes to everything. And this is why this girl went around life behaving the way she fucking did. And feeling entitled and feeling like she could do and get away with whatever the fuck she wants. Yeah, she was never told no, bro. You could tell clearly, like, one of those kids, you guys, if you're raising kids now, you need to learn to say no, fucking set fucking boundaries with your kids. Another thing is, your kids are your kids. They're not your fucking friends. Clearly, from what I see, this little girl thinks her mother's her friend. Her parents are her friends. That's what it feels like to her. Like they're friends. Your kids are not your friends. It was a social media that entitled her. That too. And that's another thing. She was on fucking TikTok and all this shit. You know, little girl was just way out of pocket. I'm not gonna lie. And these parents are enabling her, and to them she's like, you know, it's yes to everything, and you know, they're applauding everything she fucking does. If you have kids, you can't be doing this shit, because this is exactly the end result that you will end up with children just like this little girl. It's like a tantrum she threw. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a podcast talking about true crime. Maybe and try another channel. Absolute first time joining, you're 100% on point. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. I'm being real. Like, these parents were like, you parents have to remember, your children are not your friends. You have to, you know, it's okay to spend time with your kids, joke around and shit like that, but your kids are not your fucking friends. Your kids are your children for a reason. You in charge. They don't carry the pants. You do. They don't run you. You run them. You know what I'm saying? And that's not clearly the case here that happened with Mackenzie Shirilla. Her parents let her run the fucking show. And it clearly let her run the show all her fucking life. Okay? You know, she's partying the night before this happens, right? That whole night. You know, and obviously she didn't have any shrooms in her system, according to toxicology reports, right? She did have weed. She was a big smoker. You can see her. She would record herself all the time, fucking smoking off of bongs and blunts. And I'm sure her mother followed her on social media because she thought she was her friend. You're seeing your child driving a vehicle, operating a vehicle, getting lit with a blunt, driving, looking to the side to camera all the fucking time while she's puffing on a blunt and driving. How responsible is that, yo?
That's the girl that killed the 2 boys.
Yeah, that's the girl that killed the 2 boys.
But if you're gonna see that she did something really smart.
No, she didn't do shit. Don't come talk shit over here. Don't even talk nothing about that girl. You didn't even watch it, so you gotta watch it.
I'm not defending her. I'm saying she did something really smart. She tells her mom before she did anything.
You talk shit. That girl didn't do nothing. No, she talks. That was weeks before.
Like she was saying, "Oh, look at he's in the wheel."
That was before.
I know, but she already was making a story.
No, she was already being a bitch
to show that.
Yeah, Mr. Unforgettable gets me pissed off.
No.
The mom doesn't make good decisions.
No, because she was making a story already.
The father's a wackadoodle. Yes, he is.
Look at.
Listen, let me finish my podcast, bro.
Look at the girl was already starting.
She was already planning. They already spoke about that. She was planning, like, because you can't tell me this is not premeditated. Like, seriously, right? The boy calls the mother, right, and says, "You need to come help me out because this little girl don't want to let me out of here." Like, we're literally driving and this girl's acting like a fucking maniac, right? And then the girl thinks she's slick and she texts the mother and says, hey, he's trying to pull on my steering wheel. And then 2 weeks later, this accident happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
That's
about.
some crazy shit. You're lining up your ducks in a row.
So I'm talking about.
This boy was trying to run out of there. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't. He couldn't. Mom made it all about the daughter. Absolutely. She made it all about her daughter. Look at April cracking up. So, you know, that is a fucking retard. Let me tell you something.
The parents, they do dry too.
No, her parents are enablers. That's what they are. The parents think they say yes to everything.
We are gonna do everything for my daughter.
Yeah, everything was
innocent.
That's what they said.
She's my dry.
Natalie's saying hello, Mr. Unforgettable. He's getting scorned again today. I'm sorry, you guys.
She got a dry mouth. Like,
nah.
See, my daddy's innocent.
All right, listen. The parents are enablers. I already said that shit. And these parents, what pisses me off the most, and I don't care if they watch this channel and don't like what the fuck I gotta say, bro. But these parents had no fucking remorse. All they spoke about was their daughter. Even up to the day that she was found fucking guilty, right? You know, they give you a chance to say how you fucking feel, to try to persuade the judge, you know, to have leniency on their daughter. The mother did you guys hear that speech? You guys heard the speech from the mom? It was all about her daughter. I'm so glad that Judge Nancy fucking called her out. And then she's like, well, Davion was just a new boy that came into the group. Like his life didn't matter, bro. His life mattered just as much as your daughter's, Natalie. You know what I'm saying? She was so dry and then she said she got caught up with the judge, and the judge, you know, got upset with her because she was trying to like not care about anybody else but her daughter. She turns around and does this fake apology that was so fake and dry to the families. It was disgusting, you guys. It was fucking disgusting. Mr. Forgettable has opinions, damn it. He does, but he hasn't watched the documentary,
listen.
so I don't want him to sit here. Hold on. I don't want him to sit here I'm gonna clear something up, you guys. I don't want him to sit here, and I've been watching this since back then when it was on trial and everything. He hasn't and I don't want him to fuck up on points. I don't want him to fuck up on like some facts, and then he says shit that is not true, and he's talking nonsense. I don't want to do that to my viewers, you know.
So that's why you see how that little girl was acting. That's why you. Like parents, you gotta watch out for your kids. You gotta take care of your kids, because no matter how much good parents you are, you don't know what your kids is doing because
I said that earlier.
But you gotta watch out like a parent, because sometimes when they say I'm 14, mom, I'm already grown, and some parents take it to her head and
they let her do whatever she wants
and release all the authorized.
How would you feel if your 17-year-old daughter moved with a grown man? Hell no. Fuck no.
Now look at how they're acting. They're acting like the perfect parent. But then you want to tell me that you didn't know that your kid, before that happened, he wasn't acting like this? No. You knew. The thing is that
before you got into the car.
that your kid told you that he's 14, that he's a little grown up, you thought he was a whole complete grown up.
No, these parents have allowed this girl to be grown all her fucking life.
That's how I watch my motherfucking kids.
These parents have let this girl grow up too fast. That's what I gotta say, right? So, like, you know, you're right. Is there justice? The judge did get her right, because the way she was speaking, like, listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I love my kids to death, and I'm gonna clarify something, right? Okay, as a parent. And everybody that's watching me that has children, right? Nobody's perfect, right? As a parent, and no children is perfect. Everybody makes their mistakes. Everybody does shit. Everybody does things wrong, whatever, right? But, and I understand Natalie standing 10 toes down for her daughter because it's her kid at the end of the day. We have to see it as a parent too.
She needs to do it.
Yeah, she's going to stand 10 toes down regardless if her daughter was wrong or right, right? None of us are perfect. Absolutely. She's going to stand 10 toes down. So I understand her, what she's doing. I mean, we're getting mad at her, but at the end of the day, as parents, regardless if our children are wrong or right, we're going to try to stand 10 toes down for our children. But we got to teach our children accountability, bro. Okay, I'm standing behind you, but not for what you did. You see what I'm saying? I support you because I love you because you're my child, but you did wrong. You get where I'm coming from, you
I
guys?
know, but you.
And she had no sympathy or empathy for the families, all these 2 boys that passed away, bro.
But you can't blame everything to parents either. You know why?
Oh no, she was to blame for 100%. I'm sorry. She was
in
mean,
general. In general.
Oh no, in general, no.
You know why? Because
some parents are good and the kids turn on
the
bad.
kids is in your house. You got your kids in your house, right? And while he's at home, you gave him the parenting time. Like you watching him, you look on his cell phone, you making sure that he's doing everything okay. But you know what it is? You can't control when he's in school.
That's what I said. No parents know what their children are doing. Her mom is too mentally stunted to be accountable. Absolutely, it's true.
When you're in school, remember, like when you are home with your kid, you try to teach him that even if you smoke weed, you try to teach your kid, no, don't do that. That's bad. You know, but in school, remember, other kids got more mentality, more
what
prepared.
Mr. Unforgettable was talking about is that not all parents do that with their children. Like they don't enable their children and their kids. And their kids end up doing bad shit anyways. That's what he's trying to say. She went to a party months after their deaths, living her back. Yeah, this fucking girl was just hanging out, doing shit. Like she didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yo. The mom, you're right, April. She's like stunted. Like the mother, like they don't see no wrong in their child. Like I said, I understand her as a mother. Natalie, if you're watching my podcast, I'm sure you're going to come across my podcast. I get it. You're a mom. You want to stand 10 toes down. I would stand 10 toes down behind my child too, whether they're right or wrong. But you have to let your kids take accountability. Applauding what the fuck they did and making it seem like they did nothing wrong, you're doing more damage to your child than helping them. You know what I'm saying? You did all the damage you did for the rest of the years. You never said no to her. You can clearly tell from that because you seem a little bit afraid of her. Everything she says goes. And your husband, too. Your husband just follows along for what you say, right? But, you're hurting your child more. One thing is to stand 10 toes down for your child and be there for them. But another thing is to act like they didn't do shit wrong. That's where I have the problem. You know what I'm saying? And to act so cold and heartless. Do you guys listen? I'm gonna tell you something. Her mom liking the post says it all. Absolutely. The dad, he was put on you guys heard that the dad was put on administrative leave? The dad, Mackenzie's dad was put on. He's a teacher, and he was put on administrative leave when they find out he came out in the documentary on Netflix. He's on administrative leave. You guys heard about that? They might smoke, but you shouldn't be too okay with it. That father was on Netflix saying it was okay. Yeah, exactly, April. He was saying, I'd rather her smoke weed. And, I knew she was doing dope. They call weed dope. Than her, shooting up the arm. Like, it's either way, the weed or the dope up the arm or the sniffing of the coke or the shrooms, none of that shit is good in my eyes. I don't want my kids doing any of that shit. Like, he's like minimizing the severity of that type of shit. Like, bro, what are you doing? You're basically telling your kids, it's okay, you can smoke weed.
And that's what I'm talking about.
And that's better. And that's way better than, shooting up in the arm. No, motherfucker, you're my child. You live under my roof. You want to do that type of shit, you do it outside my house. I didn't teach you that shit. Stand on shit. These parents had to stand on business as parents. But they were enablers. Her dad was put on administrative leave as a teacher. Because he came out on the Netflix. Once the Netflix documentary was released, he was put on administratively because he was on the Netflix documentary. Against Mine did, and we fought every day. Absolutely. And we're like, bro, we can't be enabling our kids. Like, you know what? I'd rather my child do it in my face than outside with somebody else. No. How about I'd rather my child not do it at all? Davion had nothing to do with it. That was the session. And Davion and Dominic didn't deserve to die the way they fucking did. This girl literally, if you guys haven't watched it, watch it yet. It's called The Crash on Netflix, right? She literally, like we have a crash reconstruction specialist, those mechanics, right? They're specialists for the state. And they came in and they read it off. The girl didn't press the brake not once. She was accelerating more than 100 miles per hour, close to 100 miles per hour on a straight road right into the fucking wall. How is that not intentional, bro? How is that not intentional? And she was the only one with a seatbelt on. The boys didn't have a seatbelt.
He probably did it to scare them.
Yeah, she was the same at home as she was in public. Absolutely. I mean, lots of kids had lots of shit to say about her. Like, they were tired. She bullied kids, you know. There's if you guys look at public platforms, Facebook, Instagram and stuff like that, lots of kids came out talking about that stuff. Like what she would do to them and shit like that. So they're happy that she was in jail. It was crazy.
This bitch is still alive?
She's sitting in jail. And last I heard, she's doing good for herself in jail. I was reading something, watching a video the other day. She all happy in there and shit. Trying to be like gangster. Her whole fucking, even her language is changing. Like her accent in there. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, girl, like the girl has no fucking remorse whatsoever. She read a little speech in court, you guys. And it was less than a minute. No type of remorse. It was nothing. Like, you can tell. She was pushing out tears. She had none. The crocodile tears. She was trying to push them out, forcing them out. None of them were coming down her fucking face, bro. She also probably has borderline personality disorder. Reckless driving is part of it. I don't know what the fuck she has. They were claiming she had POTS. But and listen, I respect your opinion, April. It could be mental health, probably. But you know what? At the end of the day, I feel that her parents caused her to have this behavior she had because of the way she grew up with them and the way they raised her. I truly feel she doesn't know how to take no for an answer. And you know, when a child doesn't know how to take no for an answer, they throw tantrums. That's what I feel like that was like. Yeah, absolutely. She also probably has borderline. Yeah, in public. Yeah, it's true. Her flip-flop was imprinted in the floor. Yes, her flip-flop. That's another thing. Her fucking sandal or flip-flop, whatever, was like wrapped up with the bottom piece of the rug of the car. Like, it was like wrapped up. Meaning it was never on the fucking... there was no intention to have her foot on the fucking brake. It was all the way to the right. Like, that's insanity to me. Yeah, she was high on weed. She was high on weed all the time. She was recording herself on social media. It was just crazy, bro. I truly think that this boy was trying to end it already. And this girl was not happy with that situation. It was almost like if I can't be with you, then I can't be without you, and we're all gonna go. That type of deal. And Davion paid the consequences too. And if you guys haven't heard, Davion and his two sisters is Divine. One of the sisters' name is Divine. I forgot the other sister's name. The parents, the Flanagans, they adopted them. They came up from a fucked up home. And these parents took them up under their wing, adopted them, and were raising them, and they were doing well for themselves. And they were good kids, bro.
And how they got there? Where was coming from?
They came from they were given up for adoption. So
before the crash, they came from where?
They were all actually hanging out at a house, you know, and partying up. And they had brought shrooms. They had brought weed. And then they were leaving at 5-something in the morning. You guys didn't find that shit odd? They're all relaxing. Supposedly her friend says, Mackenzie's friend says that she was already sleeping by 3 a.m., right? Why did they decide to up and leave at 5 in the morning or around that time, whatever time they left? You guys don't question yourself on that? That was odd to me. Like, if I'm over at my friend's house and we're all best friends, we're all hanging out and we're all like lit and whatever, my first instinct when I was younger was like, we're going to stay here and just crash out here, right? And they all hung out together. They did that often. They all crashed out in each other's house. What made them up and leave at that time of the hour in the morning? You get what I'm saying? Was that it? Like, didn't that stand out to you guys at all? It even stood out to their friends. Like, where are you guys going? Why are you guys leaving? Like, this shit pop off between the girl and the boy. Maybe he told her he didn't want to be with her that morning. Maybe he told her he didn't want to be with her. And they decided to leave so they don't cause chaos and ruckus in somebody else's house. and that she was angry. Because in my mind, if I'm hanging with my friends as a kid when I was younger, like 19, whatever, I'd party, drink, whatever, boom. And if we're all friends, I'm going to crash out in your house. That's how it is. They all crashed out at each other's house. What made them get up and say, okay, you know what? We're leaving. We're going home at 5 something in the morning or 5 in the morning.
So I mean,
because the crash happened at 5:30 in the morning.
There were arguments from inside
the house. Exactly. You guys, something occurred within that house that nobody knew about that happened privately between Mackenzie and Dominic. Weird thing is both boys texted their parents. Yes, thank you. Ali makes a good point. The boys were telling their parents they loved them, like texting them at 3 something in the morning. What was popping off that they were saying that to their parents, bro? That's crazy. Did they have a feeling that they texted that to their parents? And then 2 hours later, they're dead? Because they have a tragic accident, bro. I feel like certain things, either Mackenzie and Dom had some type of discussion that nobody heard in the house somewhere else before they left the house, or friends heard that discussion. They just don't want to speak up on it. But I don't know. I feel like it privately happened, and all of a sudden they decided to leave and she was upset. And tragically, these 2 boys passed. Like, that's crazy. Man, what's she saying to them? What's she saying to them? What do you mean, April? I don't know what the fuck she said to him. I don't know what went on in that house, but something happened within that house to cause him to just get up and say, we're just going to leave home at that time. The police also found the boys' bodies stacked on each other. Oh my God, yes. In front and back, meaning they took their seatbelt and they were trying to stop them. Absolutely. Were they fighting? That's what I'm saying, Abel. I feel like some shit was popping off between them. I feel like something popped off that pushed them, because they have stayed over each other's house, to get in that car and say, we're leaving. And Davion's like, well, I'm leaving too. You know what I'm saying? And they were probably going to drop off Davion home, because she lived with him in his house, Mackenzie, at that young age.
Imagine they start fighting.
That's exactly what I'm thinking for me to be.
And then the one in the middle.
That's what they're saying.
When the fronts are separated and she let go of the gear.
No, see,
and then this
is why I don't want Mr. Unforgettable to talk, because he didn't watch the documentary.
No, I'm saying
that's exactly what happened.
And then she hit the pedal.
Nope. So when you watch the documentary, you can discuss this further with me. A crash reconstruction specialist, a person, a mechanic, a professional. They pulled the report from the vehicle. She pressed that gas all the way at 100 without pressing the brake not once. This right here, the gears kept on going from neutral to drive, neutral to drive. That means they were fighting in that car trying to stop her. You guys noticed there was no skid marks on the road? There was no skid marks on the road. You know what? If you press the brake, it's skid marks. There was no skid marks on the road. She had no plan of stopping. Funny how neither of the surviving friends at the house would speak to police afterwards. Absolutely. They refused. They refused to talk about it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, especially her best friend. Refused to talk about it. They wouldn't talk to the detective. Did Davion live with them? No, Davion was staying with them for a little bit too. Davion stayed with them for a little bit. So Davion, according to the dad, he was becoming a little bit rebellious. He messed up his leg. He was a great football player. And it kind of fucked up his career as getting into a great football team. They're in college and scholarships and all that shit. And you know how that goes, you guys. When you have a goal in life and you have a dream in life, and that shit goes all down the drain, people, especially kids, go into depression, stress, and they can turn to hanging out, drinking, and doing things and hanging around with the wrong crowd. And I think that Davion got caught up with hanging around and started to do things that he didn't do normally. He was popping shrooms, he was smoking weed, he was drinking, coming home late, his dad told him. If you guys watch the documentary, basically, Hispanics say this: dime con quién anda y te diré quién eres. You know what that means? That's exactly what her dad said. Tell me who you're with and I'll tell you who you are. Basically. he was picking up bad habits. So that fucked him up, you know? But he did live, he was rebellious with the parents. He was upset with the parents. He was in one of those stages, is like, you know, I can't stand my parents because they don't understand type of deal. He did stay with them for a little bit. So yeah, he did. Dom was a private person. I don't think he wanted to argue in front of people. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that shit popped off in front of everybody. I think that happened privately between them. And then they decided to leave. I think that's why he wanted to leave. Absolutely. He probably wanted to keep that shit in his house. You know? And this kid was young too, and he had his own place. Goes to show he was responsible.
Oh.
He was on top of his game. He was like 20, 21. He was young. You know? He had his own place, his own thing going. Like, it goes to show his parents taught him right. He had his own place, his own thing. He graduated. He did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he partied and everything like we all did when we were growing up, right? But he got caught up. I think, my personal opinion, nobody has to agree. I feel like he got caught up with the wrong girl. And she claims she blacked out but took a perfect turn and just kept going. Absolutely. She took that perfect turn. You guys saw that shit? Where she turned off to Progressive Drive. That's the street where she crashed. It was kind of like, if you guys noticed, that turn was a little bit aggressive. Like she was upset. There was not really much braking. You know, when you turn and you brake and, you know, you take, you know, you're proceeding with precaution. Like it was just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? He knew how disrespectful and commanding she was. Absolutely. She was very disrespectful. He probably known that she was going to make a fucking scene. She was probably already making a scene, but he was trying to probably calm her down and said, let's just go home. And I'm unsure if Davion was living with them at this current time. He hopped in the car with them. But that's truly sad. These boys lost their life fucking sadly, bro. And unnecessarily, bro. She slammed the car into a commercial building, you guys. Brick building. You guys see the way that building ended up? The building was in shambles in that corner. The sign was fucking destroyed. The car, I don't even want to say how bad it was. The building, for you to break the building like that, that's crazy and insanity to me. Okay? There were no brake marks. Yeah, they didn't make it home. It was fucking heartbreaking, bro. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. My husband was sleeping this morning. I was crying watching it this morning. And I was turned. I had my back turned to my husband. Like, that was heartbreaking to me. I was watching it from the beginning. My eyes were crying. And because I have children, and God forbid that my children end up in situations like this with a toxic individual.
So she got sentenced already?
Huh?
The sentence already?
They sentenced her already. She got 2 consecutive 15 to life. For each one.
We are parole.
She's up for parole 2037 and 2037.
Damn.
But she tried to appeal it and they denied it, which is great. Guys, she tried to appeal it and they denied it. And I just took a listen into a jail phone call after she was put in jail between her and her mother. And the way they were talking about this families, especially Dom's family, was disgusting. The way they were laughing like it's nothing. The way they were behaving was just off, the mom and the daughter. And the daughter was very demanding. It's like the mother was scared of her. But she was very demanding. And their behavior was completely off. No signs of remorse. No signs of sadness. No signs of anything. Everything is about me. About themselves. About the daughter. I have to wonder if Dom didn't ask Davion to go with them because Dom didn't want to be alone with her. Absolutely. I listen, that could be a possibility, Miss Gems. He was trying to break up. She wasn't having it. He didn't want the drama. Absolutely. Because this is not the first time. If you guys watch the documentary, and there's plenty of other things that have been coming out on social media. It was not the first time this girl was making up scenes and making scenes to this boy and putting hands on him and doing the shit she did to him. I mean, he's probably no saint, right? But he wasn't like her. She took it there. She took it to those extremes. And he was probably like afraid of what else she was going to come up with. What else? She lied and said that he was trying to pull the steering wheel. And then 2 weeks later, they died this, you know, they were in a car. Look how ironic this is. They were in a car and they died in a car. And that's what she texted her mother, like some manipulative shit. You know what I'm saying? So it could be possibility he was afraid to be alone with her. And he asked Davion to come along for the ride. Yeah, she got 15 to life 2 times concurrent. And she's up for parole in 2037. That shit's crazy to me. Like he was probably scared of her. I wouldn't even doubt it, Miss Jams. I wouldn't even doubt that she was scared of him. I mean, he was scared of her, and he wanted Davion to kind of be like the third wheeler to kind of like be there and be the witness in case anything pops off, because maybe some shit popped off at the house first before they made it out of there. And he already knows what she was capable of doing, throwing tantrums and doing the shit she did. And the data from the vehicle, she told her mom to tell her detective that she had a seizure. Oh God, that's insanity to me. Like, bro, listen, the data from the vehicle showed that the accelerator was pressed heavily before impact, you guys. But the prosecutors were like, no. There was no attempt to avoid the crash. Like, there was no pressing of the brakes. They didn't swivel sideways, nothing like that. It was just straight into the wall. Prosecution did a good job prosecuting that case. They proved their case. Don's sister has a podcast now. She's not happy with the family. So, you guys, that's another thing I want to put out there. She shared, I'm going to share with you guys, I'll put it on my page, that somebody opened up something like that, a podcast, and she screenshotted it. I know what you're talking about. And she said that that's not her, that's somebody playing it off like it's her. So I just want to keep you guys aware that this is a person pretending to be her. She actually posted that on her social media Facebook page. You guys can go check it out. Natalie said that Mackenzie didn't say seizure. Yeah. They said Davion was a new friend, but her letter said she loved Davion and Dom. Absolutely. Yeah, the mom trying to like make it so like less important than what it was. Like his life wasn't as important as her daughter's. Well, he was just a new friend. Like he was somebody that they just started hanging out with. Like, bitch, Natalie, I'm sorry. I got to call you a bitch for that. Because what the fuck? His life wasn't as important as your daughter's, bro, that you got to say some fucking dumb shit like that in open court in front of his family members, in front of these people that are grieving, in front of these people that love the lost one, and you say some fucked up shit like that. That's sad as shit. She's up for parole in 2037, but has already gotten so many infractions in jail. Absolutely. She gets in trouble all the time. That's true what Miss Jams is saying. She's been getting in trouble in jail so many times, you guys. She won't get out. They rarely parole on first attempt, even with good behavior. She's not behaving at all. Yeah, she's not behaving at all. That's true. That's been going on. That's been all over social media. She's not doing well in there, you guys. Not only was she not remorseful, but she's in there having a big old party with all the inmates. And just being an asshole. So not only was she an asshole in school to other kids and in general in life and entitled, and she felt she was better than people, but she all up in jail acting the same way as an asshole. Like, this goes to show that if a person was really remorseful and gonna change, that right there, 2 consecutive 15 to life sentences would have changed her mind if she was really like remorseful. No, she up in there acting a fool too. She in jail acting a fool too. When you go up for a parole hearing, you have to be on your best behavior. You better not have any bad infractions, none of that type of shit, because they won't take it into consideration. They'll start bringing up a whole list. Well, she got caught with this. She did this on this so-and-so date. Like, yo, you ain't going nowhere. Don't get dressed, Mackenzie. You ain't going nowhere. You going to stay in there. And the judge said it herself. She said, you'll be lucky to even come out of there because she don't think she's going to make it out of there. She thinks she's going to be there for life. That's what the judge said.
Take your TV off.
Yeah, like she be getting in trouble. Concurrent sentence is not consecutive. Oh, I'm sorry, concurrent. I apologize. Like, that's crazy. She was on that girl Melly's show promoting her show. I don't know. The sister on her page said that somebody's making pretend that it's her, but it's not her. Maybe somebody took her podcast and is making pretend, using the same theme or whatever, because I saw that on her page. But it's sad as shit. Like, she acting a fool in there too. That goes to show no type of remorse. Like, the bitch don't give a fuck. And the judge even said it, like, she don't even think she gonna see the outside world anytime soon. And I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna break it down why the prosecutors said it was murder, right? Because this has been a controversy for many. Guys, if you don't believe me, go on Facebook. And I think there's some on Instagram. There's support groups for this girl on social media, like Free Mackenzie, blah, 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 blah. You guys go check those out. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But there's lots of support groups for this girl as well. Melly has been following this since the beginning. Okay, so maybe she was referring to a page that actually used her background. I'm talking about the sister. And she's saying, this is not me. This is the real me. Maybe that's what maybe I got it wrong there. You guys check it out. It's on her page anyways. So this is the reasons why prosecutors said it was murder, right? Because as we're reading here, usually fatal crashes like that, when people die in accidents like that, it leads to vehicular homicide charges, right? Melly has been following 24. She said, okay, she was a rude and dominant individual. She needed things her way or she would throw a fit. She's gross and didn't care about anybody but herself. Absolutely, I agree, Ali. Usually when it's an accident like that, when it involves a vehicle like that, usually you get your vehicular homicide, right? Those are the charges you get. But the prosecutors were saying this was a different case, and the reason they believe that the crash was intentional, and these are the reasons why. This is what they focused on, right? The extremely high speed. That's the first thing they focused on. The straight path into the building. That shit had me fucking feel. I was having anxiety this morning, you guys. I'd seen the video, but this showed the up close scene from different angles of the damn video. I was just like, the straight path. Because it didn't turn. The car didn't turn. The car didn't veer some other way. It didn't lose control and roll over. It was straight, you guys. That's the second thing that led them to believe that this was intentional. Another thing was, there was no braking or swerving. I just said that. You guys seen that there was no braking or swerving? There was no skid marks on the road, not on the grass, not nowhere.
Look at when it comes to the car, when they're gonna do the inspection inside the car and outside, they have an inspection of the own company, of the police guys.
Yeah, that was an accident reconstruction.
They got an expert from the model of the car, from the guy that worked for that model. And they call him.
Well, no, it's an expert that works with accidents in general. He did it. He came in.
A person that know about every car, every.
Absolutely, they're professional. And
when those people the first thing those people do is they put those cars on the computer and they see if they got any accident or whatever.
Any malfunctions of the car. Malfunction. There was no malfunctions on the car, you guys. Remember that. The report said there was nothing malfunctioning in the car.
There's no malfunction. What you showed me earlier that the guy was saying that she never hit the brakes. That means that she wasn't trying to hit the brakes.
Yeah. And another reason as to why they said it was intentional. Go ahead.
It was going to be like a 3 murder thing, but it looked like she didn't hit it right, and so she survived. But it's so stupid. That was really stupid and really ignorant. Because right now she's gonna go to jail. She don't give a fuck about nobody. She's laughing because that's the way it is. And when she passed the 5 months inside jail, your brain goes into the jail system, and when you're in the jail system, are you gonna? She's
gonna be institutionalized there, thinking like that.
All is gonna happen is that you think you are home, and then after you get tired of you thinking that you are home, you're gonna start thinking that I'm innocent. I gotta prove my case, and then when that don't work, what's gonna happen? You're gonna go fucking crazy until you feel guilty for you put some parole, but you will get parole at the age of fucking you're gonna come out at the age of 80.
Yeah, she's gonna be. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna. She crashed more on his side. Absolutely, his side was destroyed. I'm looking that up now. Is there justice? I'm trying to figure that out. I don't think that was ever determined. I don't know. I didn't see that there. How far was the because is there just this one thing? How far was Dom's house from the house they were at hanging out in? Do we know how far the party house was? No, I don't even know. I'm gonna keep on looking into this case. We're gonna keep on talking about it. Another reason that prosecution thought that this was intentional and they convicted her with murder is because of surveillance video and video evidence. The surveillance and the video evidence. Thankfully, there was video evidence from different buildings, different intersections, and all shit like that. GPS evidence suggestion she had driven the same route before. You guys, this is fucking mind-boggling. She had driven this route before. What the fuck was she doing? Was this premeditated? Like, this is the same way. Why was she driving the same route before? Is my question. Was she trying to figure out how to do it? Was she suicidal? She wanted to do a suicide homicide with this boy in her vehicle? That's mind-boggling to me. She survived because she was under the dash. Absolutely. Like, this is mind-boggling to me, you guys. You guys don't question that? Why was she doing... The GPS is showing that she had driven this route before. Doesn't that kind of like stand out to you guys? That's crazy. Was she already planning this? Because there's no way in hell she needed to go that way. Because it was not leading towards this kid's house, to Dom's house. Why was she going down that way anyway? That's just weird to me. Another reason as to why it was murder for the prosecution. What do you mean, Natalie? You say your opinion. You just said my opinion. Another reason is relationship problems between Mackenzie and Dominic. They started to look back in her phone, on his phone. They extracted phone data and they questioned friends. And two of his friends came forward and started to talk about it and saying that they were having issues that they had witnessed when she put her hands on him. And also videos of them arguing and her, the things she was saying, the way she was behaving towards him. Big red flag. Her mom claimed it was the route to their favorite food truck where they get potato skins from. No explanation why they'd be driving there. Exactly. Miss Jams, her mom is such a fucking liar. I get standing 10 toes down for your child, but like, bitch, she's an enabler. Because why would you drive that route to a food truck that's probably not even open at that time? You get what I'm saying? You're right.
Do they got any type of way to look at the steering wheel record?
They already did all that. That's already done.
No, the steering wheel.
They did everything. They did the pedal thing. The guy that they tested it.
I know the pedal you showed me, but
no, this too. They tested this, everything.
The steering wheel,
the brakes, everything. They tested everything.
After she wasn't that high speed, like 100 miles per hour.
She went straight. She didn't turn no wheel. Straight. This was the only thing that was moving up and down.
What the fuck?
It went straight. There was no brakes, nothing. And this was going from neutral to drive. Neutral to drive.
Okay, did they study the whole street? Because
they studied the whole street. They studied everything.
You know why? Because that's.
I'm telling you, Mr. Unforgettable has to watch the documentary, read up on it.
I was thinking the whole time here.
We'll probably watch it today. I watched the documentary. We'll probably watch the trial.
I was thinking about the little bit of information that I know. I was trying to calculate that if that's street before she speed and he that thing.
Yeah, about half a mile all the way down speeding. Yeah.
In the beginning of the street, did they do a curve? Because if they did,
nope, they didn't hit no curves or nothing. She went straight into the building.
No. In the beginning of the street, like in the beginning.
She had no curve. She took a turn. They recorded. That's what I'm telling you to watch the documentary.
I know, I understand, but I'm telling you, if this happened over here, I'm talking about the beginning of the street. To get there, if you got any curve too?
Nothing. There was nothing. There was no signs of curve or hitting the curve. Nothing. There was no damage to the car until she hit that wall. She hit it straight in the wall. That's why I'm telling him to watch the documentary because I want him when he talks.
That's the only place that street got a little curve.
That street is straight.
It's
straight all the way down. She went straight all the way down into the wall. See, I'm glad he's learning with us here, but he'll watch it and we're gonna watch that trial. So those were the reasons as to why prosecution were looking at it as murder, right? And they literally called it, you guys, you saw what they called it? Hell on wheels. She was hell on wheels. It was so bad, the trunk opened. Yeah, the car was destroyed, you guys. That was, I'm not gonna lie, I was crying. Because when the documentary started, hi, Auntie Jerry, everybody. Auntie Jerry's here. That's Eddie O'Brien's aunt. She's here in the chat. Everybody say hello to Auntie Jerry. We've spoken about Eddie O'Brien here and his case, you guys. We'll get further into that. But we have Mike from Can We Keep It Real podcast. He's talking about it currently. So you guys check it out too. People said she wasn't suicidal. Much love to the O'Briens because she couldn't even eat a chicken sandwich. That's how much she cared about herself. But she didn't care. She needed to do anything to have Dom stay with her. Oh my God. I'm telling you, this girl was fucking mind-boggling. This girl was so entitled. Titled little fucking brat, bro. So they literally called it hell on wheels, you guys. Called it hell on wheels. Because that's exactly what it was. Fuck, you going down 100 miles per hour all the way down a straight street, half a mile all the way up to the street, straight into a fucking building at 100 miles per hour. You guys get what I'm saying? And she carried out the crash, they say, with precision. Precise. She was precise about it. She's been through that route already. Her GPS already said she's been through that route already. The way she took that curve onto Progressive Drive, she looked like she was upset already. You can tell. You know when you're upset and you're driving and you go and turn? You know what I'm saying? You know, we drive. She had complete control of the car up until those last seconds. Absolutely, A to B, and I agree. And I believe those boys, you see, when prosecution was saying that when they were arguing, they had their accident mechanic, their reconstruction specialist, when he was there, that he kept on saying that the vehicle went from neutral to drive, neutral to drive, neutral to drive. I really feel those boys were trying to fight for their life in there, and this bitch just pressed the gas pedal all the way down. Because for that boy in the back, Davion, to end up piled up, you know what's piled up? That's fucking heartbreaking. Piled up on top of his friend, bro. They died piled up on each other. Meaning they were probably fighting for their life trying to stop that car and they couldn't. And when they crashed, they ended up piled on top of each other. She ended up by herself under the fucking dash. That is fucking crazy shit. Let me tell you something. I don't know how spiritual you guys are here. No. We go later. I don't know how spiritual you guys are up on here. But like, there ain't nothing in this life that you do that you're not gonna pay for. That's how I see that. You can't go in this life doing shit and feel like you're not gonna pay for it. Same thing with Eddie O'Brien, the one that did the crime and then had him take the rap for. Eventually, that person that killed Janet Downing it's gonna catch up to them, and they're gonna be sitting in jail while this man walks free, when Eddie walks free. There's nothing in this life you can do that doesn't come to light, first of all, and doesn't have consequences, bro. God must have said, not today, girl. You killed these two boys, you're gonna stay alive and you're gonna handle business and you're gonna be sitting in jail. That was a lie. She released video on social media of herself in the hospital slurping down breaded chicken. They just spew anything they can to try to explain her behavior. Absolutely. I feel like they were making excuses for her behavior. Her parents, especially, those two people, her parents need counseling. And I'm sorry to say it like that. I get it. I respect it. Your parents, you love your kid, but you guys fucked up that girl's life more than what you helped her. Because look at what you created. You create a monster. And then you sit here while these two poor boys passed away. They don't have a chance in life anymore. They can't have their families. They can't grow up and get married and have a family and do what they got to do. And sit here and criticize these families, especially Dom's family, and talk shit about them publicly. And talk bad about them, bro. You can see your daughter, even if it's behind bars, but nobody can see those kids again. Those families can't see those kids again. Their life was taken away from them. They were stripped from their life. No shortcuts in life. Absolutely is there justice. There's absolutely no fucking shortcuts in life. God was like, not today, honey. Because God knows our intentions. He knew her intention. He knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. Then she want to play the amnesia game? Absolutely not. Stop playing. She knew what she was doing. No remorse in that face whatsoever. You guys see how much she tried to push out the crocodile tears and it didn't fucking work? She even told her mother on that phone call after she was put in the jail cell, right? That her tears dried up as soon as they try to make Dom look like a good guy. But then again, you're sitting here telling people that you love Dom and all this shit, but your tears stopped? That's insanity to me, girl. No remorse, no empathy, doesn't care about nobody but herself and her parents. This is the monster you created. Now you got to sit here and watch your kid sit in a jail cell because you never taught her better. It's truly sad, bro. You did a fucked up job with your daughter. Your daughter could have been out here living her best life if you would have raised her right and were not her friends and would have been parents to her and done right by her. And these boys would have not been in the situation they're in. 6 feet on the ground, bro. And all these parents, including you, Natalie, and your husband, would be enjoying your kids right now. We have to take accountability as parents as to the way we raise our kids, bro. We can't be out here creating monsters. And then you sit here and you start pointing the finger and blaming everybody else but your daughter and yourselves. You're going on podcasts, you're going on shows, interviews, you on that documentary, pointing the finger to everybody else but yourselves and your daughter. Pointing the finger to Dom's family, to Dom, pointing the finger to Davion and their family. Like, bro, are you serious? No type of respect or remorse for these families, bro. Davion just graduated too and was going to be a barber. That's sad shit, bro. Yeah, the parents. So Davion's parents open up, a fund. Like they raise funds, and what they do is they give money to kids in honor of Davion or people that want to be barbers, that to go to barber school, hair school, and they give these scholarships to these kids on his behalf and in honor of him, bro. Just to honor his name for the rest of their lives until they're here on this earth forever, whenever they pass away. But just in the meanwhile, while they're here honoring his name with those scholarships, raising money for people that want to go to barbershop school and hair school and stuff like that. That's touching. Very touching. Her mother is twice as bad. She sat there with a full chest claimed Dom and his brother were drug dealers and Davion was in a gang. Right? Like, bro, that's what I'm saying. She's sitting here pointing the finger at everybody else, at the kids, at what, like, Dom being a drug dealer with his brother had nothing to do with how you raise your kid, Natalie. Your kid being a drug dealer had nothing to do with how your daughter behaved because of you and the way your husband raised her. Being the drug dealer didn't cause that accident. It was the enabling behavior you taught your daughter that caused that accident. And now 2 kids are dead and your daughter sitting in jail for life. 2 concurrent, 15 to life. Sitting here pointing the fingers at everybody else and making these comments. And listen, I empathize with the fact that you're a parent and that you're going to stand 10 toes for your kid. But let me tell you, if my kid does some shit like that, I'm going to love them. I'm going to care for him. It's going to be hurtful. But we need to, as parents, let our kids take accountability, bro. And let them learn from their mistakes. And teach them that shit wasn't right. You get what I'm saying, you guys? Dom had everything going for him. Yeah. She didn't like seeing that for him. She liked being in control of his house parents. Absolutely. He did. Listen, that I said that at the beginning of this live. Like, it goes to show that he was raised right, Dom. He had his own place. He had his own stuff going on. Like, he did his thing. He graduated high school. He was doing his own thing. You know? Yeah, her father, listen. Oh, that's another thing. Her father talking on the documentary. The kid was well off with money. Like, he didn't need any money. Like, and because he bought my daughter all these things and she liked the nice things. What? Did you guys not find that so fucking disrespectful and so fucking unnecessary to say? Like, basically he was good with money. Like, he didn't need any money. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was well off, the kid. And, you know, my daughter liked the best things and he got my daughter everything she wanted, basically. Like, what? Like, sir, are you fucked in the head? Are you still not seeing the bigger picture that your kid killed two other kids in an unnecessary accident, bro? In a tragic accident, and you out here talking about how he was well off with money, he took care of your daughter, and he, you know, because she liked it expensive things. Fucking whacked out, mother and dad. Look at these things they're fucking saying. Mackenzie already had a mindset of being older because she was with a 21. Absolutely. These parents let this girl be with an older kid. That's first red flag. I would never allow my kid to do that. You know? And I know it's hard. Teenagers are hard to deal with. But not when you're raising them, right? And like, you know, some kids are rebellious. I get it. But I'm going to do whatever it takes. My daughter knows. She's here watching now. I see an older kid with her. He trying to manipulate her and all that shit. No, fuck that. I'm going to stand 10 toes down for my kid. I don't care how rebellious you are. It's my way or the highway, damn it. And I put my foot down. And I saved my daughter from a lot of heartache. Ask her. She's in the chat, you guys. And I saved her from probably sitting in the jail cell because it was so toxic, that relationship. And I saved her from getting into trouble and probably making the most poorest decisions in her life. Ask her. She's in the chat, you guys. These parents let this little girl go live with a grown man and be with him since she was in freshman year. Now, this is the defense's argument, right? This is their argument, right? They're trying to say it was not intentional. They try to say that it was not intentional. And they're arguing that she suffered POTS, which is the postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. That means when your blood pressure drops and you kind of black out. When she took that turn, she didn't black out shit. You can tell she was clearly driving just fine. And clearly, when your blood pressure drops, because my blood pressure drops. Listen, this is coming from a person that my blood pressure drops. And you pass out, what happens? Your body relaxes. You pass out. When you pass out, you just go limp. You don't press hard on a fucking, on the fucking accelerator. So you're telling me she passed out and her foot went hard on the accelerator while she was passed out? Is that what the fuck you're telling me? When a person passes out and I have low blood pressure, I feel like I'm going to collapse. I have no strength. And I feel like I'm just going to fall. So she had the strength to press on that gas pedal that hard to the point that it was accelerated all the way to the end, to the point that her fucking slipper was fucking embedded into the car, like right on the little rug piece right under the accelerator. Your body goes limp, so that's no fucking excuse. That was the defense's argument. That was the first part of it. And then they claim that she has passed out before or had these medical episodes of POTS, right? Now, what I question here is, if I know my child has medical episodes, right, that can be scary, that can cause an accident, that can kill my child behind a wheel, or they can kill somebody else. You think that I'm going to have my child go get their license and sign off on it? I would never sign off on that. Because if my kid has medical conditions that can cause an accident and risk themselves, because if that's another thing, you love your kid so much, yet you signed off for the license. You didn't think about the fact if she has this medical condition, right? I'm putting into quotes, medical condition. Aren't you afraid that she's going to be driving the car and she's going to have an accident? Like, I would be afraid. I would never sign off on her license. Never. Absolutely not. I would never sign off on it. So they were claiming it was that too, right? So if she blacked out of her medical episodes, like they say, she had no business driving. I'm sorry to say it, right? No business whatsoever driving. The THC, everybody knows it was found in her system. Everybody that saw all her TikToks and all that stuff, she was a pothead, right? She smoked like hell. She was hitting bongs all the time. That's another thing. Some of her videos, she's sitting driving, right? And that's another thing. You're okay with your daughter smoking weed, yet she has a medical condition that makes her pass out. Weed kind of relaxes you and then you're passing out. Wouldn't you be even more relaxed, like and limp? Oh my God. I got so much more to say about this fucking case. It's fucking insanity to me, right? Everybody knew. Everybody saw her driving while they're recording her. Her friends recording her and she's cool, puffing on the weed and just driving and not even looking at the road. You guys, you see, she's not even looking at her. She's looking over. She's smoking, laughing while she's driving. That's insanity to me, right? So there was THC. That's the defense argument, right? If she had POTS, why wouldn't the mother have asked the officers if that's what caused the accident when they informed her about the accident? They said she was driving, not a word about it. Absolutely. Right? THC was found in her system. I agree, Miss Gems. They didn't ask her that. What happened to my daughter? Blah, 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 when they first talked to her. Oh my God, Dom. No, are you lying? Why would an officer be playing about that? Like, are you kidding me? Are you lying? Like, the father burst out into tears. But the mother was just like in disbelief. But she was more worried about her daughter, if you guys saw that shit. So there was THC in her system. This is their argument. And they argued that the THC being in her system didn't prove anything. So her being impaired is nothing. That's what they were basically saying. It didn't prove shit. They started arguing that she was a teen, that teen recklessness and emotional instability are not the same as murder. Listen to this, you guys. Oh my God. This makes me like, I don't know, you guys. This gets me angry. I don't know, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This shit gets me angry. Imagine these attorneys. I know that's their job, but like you saying this and you probably have children, bro. That was your child in that vehicle. I know you ain't going to be saying shit like this. That teen recklessness and emotional instability are not the same as murder. There's no excuse for what this fucking girl did. And if she was that emotional unstable, her parents should have gotten her help. But no, but they were too busy being her friends and supporting every decision she made. Because I didn't hear the parents talk about that shit. My daughter's emotionally unstable. Throughout her life, I got her some counseling and all this bullshit. I didn't hear them say none of that shit. So she's emotionally unstable and the parents didn't try to get her help. Red flag. And I call that's bullshit. Right? She intentionally did that shit. And Mackenzie herself, right? She claimed that she doesn't remember the crash. She has amnesia. You heard the parents on the documentary? They're like, oh, she only remembers up to the turn. That's it. Really? She only remembers when she took the turn. I don't remember nothing else. Conveniently, huh? Like, listen, you already doing 2 concurrent 15 to life sentences, right? They already denied your appeal. And you're not up for parole until 2037. And the way you're going in jail and the way you're behaving and all the fucking shit you're doing in there and you're not behaving and you're just acting like a fool in there, you're probably not going to be granted parole either. Wouldn't it be best to just say the fucking truth and give a little bit, even if it'll hurt the parents, give these parents a peace of mind and tell them what really fucking happened, Mackenzie? Natalie, why don't you be a good parent and say, listen, talk to your daughter and say, yo, you got to tell these parents what really happened. Say the truth. I get it. You're trying to get her out of there, but I don't see her coming out anytime soon. Right? And if you guys see all these Facebook pages and all these pages that support her, right? They feel like the prosecution overcharged Mackenzie. Because it's a tragic accident. I was in disbelief watching these support groups. I was like, what? No. But like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And so we know that the trial happened in 2023. This happened in 2022, in July of 2022. The trial happened in 2023, right, guys? She chose a bench trial, not a jury trial. And her mother was well aware of that. Because anybody, so I've been to court before, right? And I'm currently going to court for the guy that hit my daughter with his truck. Your attorneys let you know beforehand, and your family, either if it's going to be a bench trial or jury trial. That's not decided last minute. So she lies. The mother lies. That was not last minute decision making. You'll find out beforehand, because you and your attorneys have to discuss this and come to an agreement and say, what do you choose? Do you want to do a jury trial? And then the attorney will break it down and say, okay, this is what the attorney is going to do. They're going to break it down to you. A jury trial, your possibilities of, persuading a jury is going to be this, this, and this. They're going to see this, and they're going to give you the pros and the cons of that shit, right? The attorneys, because that's their job. And then they will give you the pros and the cons of a bench trial. Because let me tell you something. If a jury is sitting there, right, and they have children, and they were to listen to the facts of this case on the prosecution's level and seen those videos, and they have children, it was really going to go downhill for Mackenzie. Because I know you're not supposed to be led by emotion, just by the facts of, what's given and the evidence, right? But like as parents, we can't help but feel, right? And empathize with these parents that lost their children. And see the facts too, and see what the fuck she did. And see it that way. So he knew this mother that goes out around and says that this was last minute shit, that they didn't know they were going to go into a bench trial, as I call bullshit. All attorneys will let you know beforehand and break it down to you. What are the pros and the cons of both? And let you choose and make a decision. Most of the comments from people claiming to support her say that they just cannot believe she's guilty. She's so pretty. I know. The dumbest shit. She's so pretty or she's too hot. People with more shallowness than common sense. Absolutely. I agree, Miss Jam. People are like not upstairs. Like I feel like some people making these comments, like the elevator doesn't go all the way up. That's how I feel about that. Attorneys, they let their clients know and their family members know what route they're going to take. So I call bullshit, Natalie. You're not going to convince anybody that was last minute shit. You knew about that. You guys knew about that way beforehand. Okay? You guys know well off that was going to end up like that because they give you a decision. They tell you what's good and the bads of both type of trials, the bench trial and a jury trial. And then the attorney will tell you his opinion on what he or she feels, and it was a he at this point, you should go with, and the reasons why. So that was bullshit that she claimed that. A judge decided the case, not a jury, you guys, as you all know. And as ironic as this sounds, the judge, her name was Nancy Russo. Dominic's name was Dominic Russo. Ironic, huh? And she found her guilty. And I'm going to tell you on what she found her guilty of. Multiple murder counts. Like, this judge sat there and watched all this shit. Like, she analyzed this shit. Like, and I'm sure she empathized as a human. I know you're supposed to go in unbiased, no feelings, no nothing, like just stick to the facts. But we're humans, bro. We as a judge, I'm probably sure she's sitting there like, she got kids. She's probably like seeing like, what the fuck did this girl just do? And listen, just watching the video to me is mind boggling. That video just killed me. And that's how the fucking documentary starts. And I'm just like, and I've seen it before, but not in the different angles that they show it. It was just, it hurts me. And I know that this judge sat there and just, I know there was feelings there, you know, and she found her guilty on multiple murder counts and felonious assault, and aggravated vehicular homicide and drug related charges. Because you guys remember, her bag, it was not Dom's bag. Wait a minute, Natalie, I got to say something here if you're watching my show. No pun intended, right? You claimed that Dom was a big drug dealer, right? With his brother. Yet the bag that had all the drugs and all that shit was your daughter's bag. The shrooms were in her bag. The weed was in her bag. Everything. A scale was in her bag. Now you're not going to sit here and tell me that she was holding Dom's shit for him. You're not going to be like, oh, well, she was probably holding his scale or something. No, fuck that. And you talking shit about that poor kid, may he rest in peace, right? That he was a drug dealer with his brother. Well, you know what? How does that make your daughter any better? She was a drug dealer too then, because she stuck with him for a few years. So she did this. She was with him all the time. So she was dealing drugs too. You want to point the finger, you got to point it over to your daughter. He was the drug dealer, yet all the shit that they found was in her bag. Insanity to me. And she was sentenced to 2 concurrent sentences of 15 years to life in prison. It says she's eligible for parole after 15 years, right? Now we all know how she's been behaving back there. Everybody knows, you know, she's not doing right for herself in there. Somebody's not telling her something. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's not like guiding her in there and telling her, listen, if you think you want to be eligible up for parole, like, not even her attorneys are probably talking to her. Like, you need to get your shit together. Like, you need to behave in here. Like, parole board hearings, they're tough. They're going to listen to the facts of what they're saying, what you've been doing in there. And they're not going to allow you to go on parole with all this bullshit that's been going on. Hello, Miss Free Kelsey. How are you, baby girl? They're not. So you have to go with that mind. Like, I mean, you have to think here. Nobody's guiding this girl. She acting a fool up in jail. Like, nobody's telling this girl, when you go up, it's not easy. The parole board hearing is not gonna give you parole with all the bullshit you've been causing up in jail and all the ruckus and all the times you've gotten into trouble and all that shit. You see how Mackenzie thought she was cool outside in the world out here when she had her freedom, doing all the shit she was doing, bullying kids, doing all the shit she did and being mean to these kids and whatever, being mean to a boyfriend, didn't, and walking around entitled and all this bullshit, right? But like, do you think you're a cool kid in jail? Like, bro, you an adult now. You sitting in there. Look at what your behavior led to. 2 concurrent sentences of 15 years to life in prison. And you still acting a fool in there. Somebody might want to tell Mackenzie, hey, you don't get your shit together. You go into parole hearing 15 years from now, and they'll probably say no. They're probably going to say no. 100% agree. I never catch you live. I know, Miss Free Kelsey. I know. We're talking about, I watched the documentary this morning. The Mackenzie Shirilla, the crash. That shit was fucking insanity. I mean, I was following that case, you guys, but I had to come live today, and I don't do shows on Sundays, but I was like, I need to do a show today and talk about this because there's a lot to talk about. And I'm gonna tell you guys why this case became so controversial, because we were talking about this earlier. Because people are deeply divided, right? And we had Miss Jam say here, she said that some of the shallow people are like, because she's too pretty to be guilty, or she's too hot to be guilty. Like, those are shallow people. But in reality, a lot of people are deeply divided whether it was an intentional murder-suicide attempt, right? Absolutely. I know this is a crazy story. She won't see parole for another 12 years. Absolutely. Listen, I don't even think, Kelsey, she's doing so bad in jail. She's been getting into trouble so much in jail. I don't think she's going to even be paroled ever in her life. Even the judge said it. And the judge said that with a straight fucking face. No fucks given. Okay? Like, because she sees right through her bullshit. She saw right through her bullshit. And she saw right through the bullshit of the parents. This judge must have been sitting there and saying, this fucking mother is a fucking piece of trash. Because you're talking about your daughter, and then you're saying that this boy It's just a new friend that came into the picture. Like, his life didn't matter, bro. And how she was so selfish, just talking about her daughter. And no care in the world for these two boys. This judge shot right through that bullshit. She wasn't stupid. Yeah, her populator won't last forever in prison. Absolutely not. That shit's gonna fucking die out. She's gonna come across people that feel bad for this fucking family and have actually some fucking sense. And some shit's gonna pop out. But she been behaving like shit in there. I don't think she's ever gonna be eligible for parole. Like, she been doing bad in there. So it was an intentional. This is why people are deeply divided by this situation. They feel like an intentional murder-suicide attempt, right? And, reckless driving gone horribly wrong. This is what people are thinking, right? And mental health and drug-related crash. This is what people are thinking. And the biggest part of this controversy is because there was no written confession. But I don't believe that, because she had ran this route before this happened. She had texted to the mother. I don't know. I feel like she was getting her ducks in a row. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. He tried to grab my steering wheel. And that's the way these boys, ironically, sadly, fucking passed away in the same vehicle with her in the car. And this boy called his mother and told his mother, like, this girl doesn't want to let me off this car. Like, there doesn't have to be a written confession. Like, we already seen the evidence of these text messages before, the call to the mothers and all this shit. That's crazy. That's insanity to me. And, Dom texting his dad at 3 a.m, the morning of the crash, telling him, I love you. Something was not right, you guys. Okay. Her appeals, her only shot. There are 2 appeals. One is appeal to lawyer, missing the appeal deadline by 1 day. Absolutely. They denied the first appeal. The first chance of parole won't happen. Yeah, I don't think so either, A to B. I don't think she'll fucking ever be up for parole. That girl's fucking awful. So they say there was no written confession, but I don't know. All that evidence that we saw, that they talked about in court and stuff like that, and they actually provided into the court, said a lot. Because there's no clear verbal statement of intent. This is why people are controversial. Like, she didn't say, I'm going to kill you in this car to front of everybody. But everybody else heard, their friends, there were arguments going on, and she's saying stupid shit like this. Like, there was phone calls, there was videos, like shit like that, the way she treated this kid. Like, nah. People heard this shit, the friends. And these were mutual friends. So they're not trying to choose one side or the other. They're saying, like, yeah, we heard this. And they say that the prosecution, this is why there's controversy. The prosecution relied heavily on the crash reconstruction and behavior evidence. Well, that's what they're supposed to do. And there was so much more evidence than that. So I don't know why the defense is saying that. They're supposed to rely on the crash reconstruction specialist, right? Which his report clearly stated she didn't try to press that brake. She was going over 100 miles per hour. There was no skid marks. There was no malfunction of the car. Everything was working properly. And behavior evidence? Yeah. She was entitled brat. She was doing shit she wasn't supposed to be doing to this boy. And there was videos, the video of, of her saying that he needs to fucking open that fucking door right now and shit. He wouldn't let her in the house. That it was crazy, bro. Her behavior was fucking off. And just the way she behaved in that courtroom, no remorse whatsoever. Her little, no tear apology, and her mother, just their behavior is off. That whole family's behavior is off. This is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. No pun intended on anybody that feels different from what I'm saying. It's an individual road that everyone uses as a cut through. So her driving on that road is not inculpatory, in my opinion. Yeah, but I don't know. It's not the road. The mother said that it was the same road that she would take to go to eat at a food truck that she enjoyed. Is that food truck open at 5:30 in the morning? I wish they would have spoken about that. Well, you know what? I get that, Free Kelsey, but let me tell you something. If they would have, I just talked about this before you stepped in here. If they would have chosen a jury trial, there's going to be parents on that jury trial, and they're going to feel some type of way too. Because I know you're supposed to be not biased, but like at the end of the day, we're parents, right? You're a parent, Kelsey. Like, you're going to empathize for these victims, bro. And you're going to see Mackenzie's behavior up there and you're going to be like, what the fuck? And the mother too? And the dad? You'd be like, what the fuck is going on with this family? They were going to find her guilty anyways. That's my opinion. I think that a jury would have found her guilty in the blink of an eye. Yeah, Natalie was lying. Natalie was definitely lying. Every attorney will tell their client way beforehand, what are they choosing? A bench trial or a jury trial. They have to discuss it, discuss the pros and the cons. They need to discuss what's going to go better for them, what they feel is best for them. They discuss that with all their clients and their family members as well that are close to the, to the case, especially to her, that it was her mother and her dad. So I call bullshit trying to say that was like last minute shit. That was not no last minute shit. Hey, Natalie was lying. Absolutely. Lawyer should never. I don't know. I think that even if he would have chosen a jury trial, it would have still gone the same way. Because they're going to be parents sitting on that jury trial. And even not even parents. You don't have to be a parent to empathize with other parents that lost their children in that horrific accident. Or that horrific intentional accident. That's crazy to me. So, I mean, if the defense is going by that the prosecution relied heavily on, reconstruction, the crash reconstruction specialist and behavior evidence, I mean, they had to add that all into the mix. And that was just the topping to the cake with everything else that was brought into evidence and all the fucking testimony that was given from friends and all the interviews and all this shit. That's crazy work. And to see the behavior of these parents, mind-boggling. The mother just thinking about her daughter, not about these families, and her poor excuse for apology. And she turned around, no, I'm sorry, I really am. And then she walked away, no tear, no nothing. Like, that shit was fucked up. Yo, I thought that was so fucked up. The defense picks the jury, so obviously they would avoid choosing parents. Yeah, but you know what? Even if they don't choose parents, even a regular person, like I have a friend that she's not a parent, but she would have been like so empathetic towards these parents. I'm telling you, like, it's just in human nature to feel empathetic for people that lose their children in this horrific manner. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, her mother's definitely not doing her any favors. Her mother's definitely not doing her any of her favors. And she's not doing favors for herself because these fucking phone calls are being leaked into the public. And I wouldn't be surprised because she thinks she's famous up in there in jail. She thinks she's popular. Like she was out here once when she was out here popular and, thought she was the best or whatever. Like if like it's a money grab thing, like you're out here trying to think like this is cool or something. Like it's not. No remorse, all the laughing, all the giggling and the joking. That shit's not fucking funny to me. The way these kids lost their life. And their family, what they're dealing with right today. Losing their kids in that manner. Not anyone in that bench trial. People believing that woman off of what? I don't know. Only the Netflix documentary. People don't even know the case. The Netflix documentary left a lot out. Absolutely. I think they left some shit out. They definitely did. I mean, if they would have put it all in there, that documentary would have been very, very, very long. But you know how that goes when it comes to documentaries. They're going to choose certain things that's going to fit, people wanting to watch it. And I mean, that's just the way. That's why they get both sides. They'll get one side and the other, like, it's crazy work. And some people believe that the evidence clearly showed intent. In my opinion, it's intent. When you're not trying to press that brake, you're pressing that gas pedal all the way down. You're not swerving and sliding. You're just going straight into a wall. That was intent. And leaving your friend's house that you always hang out with, and you guys were, partying up in there, and all of a sudden just want to up and leave at 5. Even the friends were surprised. Like, where are you guys going? Why are you going home? Something happened in that house. Some argument popped off between him and her. Nobody wanted to speak after to one of her friends, and a few people didn't want to speak up after that. Yeah, a lot of red flags, you guys. A lot to question here, And others think that the reasonable doubt and that the emotions or other deaths influence the outcome. Some people think that, because they died, that influenced the outcome to others. You know what I'm saying? That it influenced people's decision and the judge's decision and the outcome of it. Because the boys died. And some people thought there was reasonable doubt. All of us have either lost someone or know someone who has lost a loved one in a wreck. A jury would not help. Absolutely. I don't think that it would have went well with a jury. And it really didn't go well with a judge. That was crazy work. And Mackenzie, she appealed her conviction several times, just so you guys know. She has tried to appeal it several times as of 2026, this year, you guys. All of us have either lost, is the justice, you're right about that, yep. And as of 2026, the appeals court upheld their conviction. They're like, fuck this. They upheld their conviction. They denied it. And the Ohio Supreme Court, the higher courts, they declined to hear the case. Now, you guys are listening to me here, right? Usually, a lot of cases are heard, right? Why do you guys think that the Ohio Supreme Court declined to listen to the case and hear it? You gotta go on facts, not emotion. There's a lot of reasonable doubt. Her chances of not guilty verdict or even a mistrial were much more, at least a possibility with a jury. Dom's sister has said that it was routine for Dom to go home early morning when sleeping at friends' houses. He'd wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. wanting to sleep in his own bed. Oh, okay. See, that's a good thing. That's good to listen to, you see? But I don't know. Why would she be so fucking mad, though? Why would she crash that car like that? That's why I feel like maybe some argument popped off. Maybe it happened in the car. Maybe some argument popped off in the car. I don't know. Maybe in the house or in the car. But that's good to know, Miss Jams. Thank you. And Free Kelsey, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't think she would have a possibility with a jury. I don't know. I know you're right. You can't go on emotions. But sadly, a lot of people go based on emotions and do that type of shit. So the Ohio Supreme Court declined to hear the case. And the appeals courts upheld the conviction. And she remains incarcerated in the Ohio Reformatory for Women, you guys. And we all know that this documentary called The Crash was released this year, right? May 15th, to be exact. And they re-examined the evidence. And if you guys saw it, she spoke publicly from the prison, you guys. Like, I didn't see no empathy, no sympathy from her there. She was trying to push out tears that weren't there. She just looked like she didn't give a fuck, you guys. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. And then turns to her attorney, right? And said, like, basically, how did I do? Did I say everything right? Did you guys hear that? How did I do? Did I say everything right? This is what this girl turns around on camera and says to her attorney and asks him. So was she coached to say those things? Like, basically, did I incriminate myself by saying these things? Oh my God. That shit was like crazy work when I watched that shit. I was like, what? Wait, there's no sympathy. You guys could see it. She had no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing whatsoever for what went on. And even talking from prison, not even in court when she was sitting in there, not even her 30-second little note that she was reading, not even in jail. She was sitting there, just no emotions, you guys. Everybody not going on emotions. Some of us actually saw this trial and not picking up on it now. Just because of Netflix, I'm going to turning to Ohio. Rest in peace, Dom and Davion. It's sad, bro. Yeah, may they rest in peace. The Ohio 8th District Court of Appeals upheld the lower court decision to reject her post-conviction petition because her legal team submitted it one day past the state's 365-day legal deadline. Oh, that's crazy work. But I got a serious question for you guys, right? I love it how we all debating and talking and we have whatever, we have things to like say, right? And I love it. I love watching everybody's opinions and I respect it, right? Do you guys think she's going to be paroled with that behavior she's upholding up in jail? It's interesting that Netflix left the comment to the attorney in, right? I found that odd. It was like a blooper or something, but showed exactly who she is and what she was doing. Absolutely. Apples, trees don't produce pears. Her mother isn't very bright. Oh, we spoke about that in the beginning. The apple doesn't fucking fall too far from the tree like the mother. The mother's an enabler, and the dad just follows along, another enabler. They both enabled that girl. She's a spoiled brat. Never got told no. Threw tantrums, everything. Absolutely. Fucking sad. Do you guys think she's gonna be paroled? I don't think she's gonna be paroled. She's just doing crazy shit. You know? A person that has remorse of what they do, they start to become a better person. They do right while they're in jail. They do their time properly. They try to stay out of trouble. And you would see more empathy and sympathy from that person. But I didn't see shit from this little girl. I don't see nothing. And that's my opinion. And everybody's entitled to their own, right? I respect it. And if her mother comes across this podcast or whatever, you know, I'm sorry that you're going to feel some type of way. But this is how I feel. And I'm entitled to my opinion, you know? But that's just the way I feel about it. And I'm not going to lie. I have a little bit of emotions involved, right? But at the same time, I went by what? Like evidence that came out and shit like that. That video and the accident reconstruction specialist that showed that everything was working in that vehicle, that told me that, you know, your daughter didn't fucking press the brake not once. There was no skid mark. That right there just told me everything. That's crazy work to me, bro. And it shows this documentary, you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, it's on Netflix. It shows body cam footage and trial details. It shows details. And it sparked major debate online about guilt, privilege, manipulation, and sentencing. Sure as hell did. And then after people watch the Netflix documentary, because I watched it this morning, you come to different conclusions. But I still had the same conclusion when it happened at the beginning. I didn't see no feelings with her when the trial was going on. Like when all that shit was going on and when I read about it and I was seeing different pieces here and there on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, I felt the same way that I feel now. But I think the documentary is like the topping to the cake, you know, to kind of make me stand on what I feel. One thing nobody is talking about is that there's another daughter, a younger sister, who Dom and Davion's sisters have said gets treated way different. Mackenzie's the favorite pride and joy. Oh my God, that's fucking, that's not right at all, bro. She's like the black sheep of the family. That's what you're trying to say, Miss Jam. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. It's truly sad, to be honest, you know? Truly sad. And look at, she's such the pride and joy that what they did was create a monster that's sitting in jail now. And they're still defending her and pointing fingers at everybody else. Because in their eyes, their child could never do wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you guys why this case hit people so hard emotionally, right? We're going to break this down. Like, you know, not break it down, but we're going to say why. Because everybody involved was kids. They were young. Although Dom was older, he was like 20, 21. And the other one was like, what, 18, 19? Mackenzie was like a day away from becoming 18 or whatever. They still were young. And they still were kids. That's why this case hit a lot of people very emotionally, okay? And two families, another reason is two families lost their sons tragically. And we can't leave out that even though I don't agree with Natalie and her husband's parenting with their child, but their child she lost her life too, basically. She's sitting in a obviously because of her actions, but she's sitting in a prison for 2 concurrent 15 to life sentences. This is why this case hits people so hard emotionally, okay? And the driver, which is Mackenzie, right? She was also a teenager. She was young. So much controversy left and right. And why this is hitting people the way it's hitting them, whether they believe she's innocent or guilty, whatever, right? And there's a line between recklessness and intentional murder. And this line between recklessness and intentional murder became the center of the case. If you guys saw that. She was reckless. Prosecution said she was hell on wheels. She was hell on wheels. And people started to, spark conversation, right? About, from this case, everybody started to spark conversation about toxic relationships because people felt that they were in a toxic relationship. And I really truly feel it was a toxic relationship, to be honest. It was. It was not healthy. Their relationship was not healthy. Yes, they had their good times, but it was not healthy. Okay? And it sparked mental health for teens and younger kids and youth. People were talking about that because I've seen different podcasts talking about mental health within youth and teens. They spoke about these things. Why? Because some people feel like it was because of her mental health that she did this. It sparked debates and controversy on social media platforms. It's still doing that to this day, especially after this documentary came out. But way before that, this was already happening. It sparked bigger conversations about drug use, especially these younger kids, carrying around shrooms and weed and whatever the hell they were carrying around and just partying it up. It sparked conversations about entitlement and privilege. Like, this little girl was like privileged, like entitled. It sparked conversations of parents raising their children. You're creating fucking monsters when you do that shit. When you don't know how to say no to your children. And it became bigger conversation about true crime media influence. Absolutely. I actually follow a few pages on Facebook, they're true crime pages, and like a lot of these people spoke about this shit. It was just sparking a lot of conversation of different topics. Imagine one situation sparked so much controversy and debates, and also sparked bigger conversations leading from this one event, which I think is good, right? Because we do have to talk about teen mental health and youth mental health. We do need to talk about drug use and what's the results of that, and what's the results of mental health and what can it cause and how you can behave and stuff like that. And when it's not addressed, because not once did I hear the parents say that they were giving her help for any type of mental health. Not once did they mention that. And it should be conversation and should be spoken about toxic relationships. This poor little girl, like this girl and this poor boy are in a toxic relationship. It's not healthy. You can't tell me that that nobody noticed that this was not a healthy relationship. Those relationships that look half at it and behind closed doors, it's different. And then it became like a public scene. Like, she started throwing scenes concurrent. Yes, concurrent. I'm sorry, you guys. I keep on saying consecutive. concurrent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad that these other conversations were sparked out of that, because we have to address those things. I've addressed on my channel a lot of things, like parents, how they raise their children and shit like that. I still haven't done a topic about, how we raise our children, not to raise them entitled and learn to say no and set boundaries. They're not your friends and shit. I think I'm going to do a show on that. Because you know what? We're going to create monsters, you guys. And then don't cry later when they end up in prison cells. Don't cry later when they end up having consequences for the shit they do. You know what I'm saying? Don't cry later. You created that. You did that to your own fucking kid. And now there's two families mourning the deaths of their children. They don't get to see them anymore. At least this family gets to see, Mackenzie's family gets to see her. Even if it's behind bars, they get to talk to her. They get to have conversation with her. But they don't get to, the other families don't get to do the same. They don't get to talk to their kids. They don't get to see them anymore. That's out the door. They don't get to see that, you know? And these parents have, like, no lie, have publicly defended their daughter since day one. And I get it. It's your child. You're standing 10 toes down. But, like, you need to hold your children accountable. I said it at the beginning of this fucking live. You can't just sit here and act like your child did nothing wrong. You get what I'm saying, you guys? For the first time, we're seeing what kids growing up completely in social media culture looks like. Absolutely. Miss Jam, I agree. Miss Free Kelsey says that was a gift from the judge. Yeah, concurrent. Yeah, the judge, I think the judge was, she based it on the facts, but I think she was very emotional with that. Because she was very upset with her mother. She told her, you don't think Davion's life is important? You know what I'm saying? Mackenzie's dad, I don't know if you guys were here earlier, was put on administrative leave, you guys, because he's a teacher. And they put him on administrative leave because he partook in the documentary. So they put him on administrative leave. You too, my love. Have a nice day, baby girl, Natalie. And he was placed on a leave on May 18th that I'm reading. Right shortly after, because the documentary was released May 15th. And May 18th, he was put on administrative leave because he's a teacher. Yeah, he is clueless. The mother is erect. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And the dad just follows along. You know? Monkey see, monkey do. It's insanity to me. And the reason they said they put him on administrative leave is because the school were upset with him because they got a lot of backlash because of the comments he made on the documentary. Look it up, you guys. And obviously Davion's parents, I let you guys know they were adoptive parents, you know. And they've had like a fund. They raise funds, you know, to give funds and scholarships to kids that want to go to young adults that want to go to barber school and what do you call that? Barber school and hair school. There are jail calls between her and her mother talking about getting enough media attention that Kim Kardashian will advocate for her. Kim K posted out yesterday that she was gonna pass. Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. The jail calls are being leaked. And I think that the mother's purposely leaking those jail calls. So other people can get attention. And in actuality, you guys, because I heard a few of them, right? I'm sorry to burst your bubble, right? To the Shirillas. But you're not going to get any type of attention but negativity from that. Because all I see in that is laughing, no remorse, no accountability in none of those conversations. And entitlement. Your brat is still being entitled. Even from jail, she's running your life. Sorry to tell you, Natalie. She's still running your life. From jail. You sound scared of her. So imagine, she's trying to get Kim K to get to advocate for her. You know, Kim K is not going to advocate for her. Lost her fucking mind. Absolutely not. Nobody's going to advocate for her. They think this is a joke. This is a popularity thing. They think this is like girl, you're sitting in jail because of something you did intentionally. You're sitting in jail for something you did. You want people advocating for you? And these jail calls, I think the mother is fucking leaking them. I swear to God she is. To see if it'll get to the ears of people. And you're getting a lot of backlash for it. Because of the way you guys are behaving on those phone calls. Especially your daughter. I think that the parents need mental health evaluations. Both parents, the Shirillas. Because something is wrong there. And the child didn't fall too far from the tree. So yeah, you guys. I really wanted to touch up on this fucking case because that was insanity to me. Like, I was watching it and I see a lot of platforms are talking about it and they're mentioning it. I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen it. I was watching it before when it first came out. But this documentary like really was the topping to like, I was like, damn, I need to talk about this case. Natalie's not in fear of Mackenzie. She's conspiring with her. Yeah, but you see the way she talks to her mom though, Miss Jam? And her mom immediately shuts the fuck up. Like she runs her. Or maybe I say it wrong. She runs her mother. Feels like Mackenzie's the parent and the mother's the daughter. She tells Mackenzie what the plan is and what to say, not to say, and says if she gets moved jails, they'll sell the house and move her. Oh God. I mean, to be fair, Miss Jam, if she gets moved out of jail, like if that was my kid and they moved them jails, I'll do the same thing. Like I'm gonna follow my kid wherever they at. But I'll let them take accountability. I want to see my child. Because as parents, we're like, okay, they did wrong, but they're our child at the end of the day, right? Nobody's fucking perfect, right? So I get it. But yeah, that family is a fucking mess. And I actually, you guys, I actually reached out to the Flanagans, and I actually reached out to the Russos to see if they would like to come on my show and give us an interview, and we can ask them questions and they can kind of talk to us. Yes, we saw the documentary, but maybe they have things they want to share with us, you know? I'm just waiting for a response. Maybe we can have them on the show. We could have conversation and, you know, and you guys, if you have questions for them, you can ask them, you know? And I told them, you know, I mean, if you're up for it, that's cool. If you're not, that's cool too, because I respect it, you know? These are people that just lost their kids the way they did, like a few years ago, but still that wound is still fresh. Especially after the documentary came out. You know what I'm saying? That's not easy. So, you know, I hit them up, you know, the parents of the victims and the family members of the victims, and hopefully they'll respond to me and they'll want to come on and we can, you know, they can share, you know, their children's life, how they grew up. Like, you know, they could talk further more than what they did for the Netflix channel and share their insight on their children growing up and everything like that. And kind of give us more information that they couldn't share on the documentary, you guys. Let's see. If they're up for it, they're more than welcome to come on the show and we can talk about it. And we can ask them questions, you know, have a nice interview, you know, very welcoming interview for them because I feel for them. I'm a parent too, and that shit must hurt. And if they're not up to it, I respect it too. If they want to come, they come. If they don't, that's what I'm okay with that too, you know. Then I reached out. Let's see what they say. I'll keep you guys posted and let you guys know if they're gonna come on. If they're gonna come on, then I'll do a live show with them and invite them on. I'll give them a link and have them hop on. If they don't, that's okay. But anyways, you guys, I just wanted to hop on. We wanted to talk about this. That was great conversation. I appreciate Miss Kelsey, Is There Justice, Miss Jam, Natalie, everybody that's up in here. And I enjoyed everybody's input on it. We don't have to see eye to eye on opinions and how you guys feel. No, we don't have to see. I respect it. This is a judgment-free zone. We respect each other here. I respect it. And I appreciate you guys' input. So I'm going to end my live now. I appreciate you guys being here with me. I am your host, The Unforgettable. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you just come around my channel. Don't forget to share. Invite your peoples over here. Let's make this channel grow. God bless y'all. I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. And tomorrow's still a holiday. I don't know how many of y'all work, but I work. But anyways, you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for your input. Thank you for listening in. I'll keep you guys posted if the family wants to join us or not. And we'll see what happens and we'll take it from there, you guys. Anyways, you guys, thank you. And I am your host, The Unforgettable. And thank you for joining me at the Unfiltered Corner. Peace.
Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. Pull up a chair, leave the mask at the door. We talk about the things they hide. Real talk, real life, nothing brushed aside. It's the unforgettable, yeah. Remember the name? Oh, yeah. We talk about topics, we say what we mean. No games, we keep it real and raw. Let the truth come through. Judgment-free zone. Judgment-free zone. This space is for you. Come get comfortable, relax, get loose. Kick off your day, shake off that bruise. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. It's true.
Peace, you guys. Much love.